Arunachala Shiva, Arunachala Shiva, Arunachala Shiva, Arunachala.
It was March 7, 1936. Dr. Hand intends leaving the ashramam tomorrow, visit the Himalayas, that is Haridwar, return here, go to Bombay, and embark for Egypt, Palestine, Europe, and finally to his native land, America. He wants to go to the peak of the hills and desires Sri Bhagavan to accompany him. Sri Bhagavan might go up as high as is convenient for him and then wait for him to finish the climb and catch him at an appointed spot on the hill. Sri Bhagavan smiled and asked him if he had heard of the experience of Dr. Beasley. Dr. Hand said, "He is my friend. He has told me everything. Wonderful. I'm older than you, Maharshi. But do you give me up as a back number? I can climb up the hill as a boy would. When did you go up to the peak last?" Maharshi said, "About 11 years ago." "What did Dr. Beasley say?" The devotee then said, "It is in strict confidence. I shall tell you everything if you are left alone with me." Maharshi simply smiled. Then the devotee asked, "Maharshi, are you conscious of a brotherhood of invisible rishis?" Maharshi, "If invisible, how to see them?" Devotee, "In consciousness." Maharshi, "There is nothing external in consciousness." Devotee, "Is there not the individuality? I fear to lose my individual being. Is there not in consciousness the consciousness of being human?" Maharshi, "Why fear to lose individuality? What is your state in dreamless sleep? Are you conscious of your individuality then?" Devotee, "It is possible." Maharshi, "But what is your experience? If individuality be there, would it be in deep sleep?" Devotee, "That depends on the interpretation. What does Maharshi say?" Maharshi cannot speak for your experience. He does not force anything down your throat. "I know," said devotee. "That is why I like him and his teaching so much." Maharshi, Do you really prepare your bed, and are you not anxious to lose your individuality in deep sleep? Why fear it? Then the devotee asked, "What is nirvana of Buddha?" "Loss of individuality," said Maharshi. "I dread that loss. Can there be consciousness in nirvana? Can there not be human consciousness in nirvana?" said the devotee. Maharshi replied, "Are there two selves in that case? Consider your present experience of sleep and say." The devotee said, "I should think it possible to retain individual consciousness in nirvana. I fear the loss of individuality." Later, the questioner went up and round the hill and wandered about 15 miles between 12 noon and 8 p.m. He returned tired and gave a very lucid speech on agriculture, social conditions, caste system, spiritual quality of the Indians, etc. End of talk 176. March 10th, 1936. "What is Mahat?" asked a devotee. Maharshi replied, "The projected light from absolute consciousness. Just as a seed swells up before sprouting and then sprouts and grows, so also the absolute consciousness projects light, manifests as ego, and grows up as the body and the universe." Major Chadwick then asked, "Is it the same as cosmic consciousness?" Maharshi said, "Yes, it is so before the birth of the ego and the universe. It comprises them all. Just as all the pictures thrown on the screen are visible by the light projected from a spot, so also the body and other objects are all visible in that reflected consciousness. It is therefore also cosmic consciousness. Again, in the microcosm, that is the body, and all other objects are all contained in the brain, the light is projected on the brain. The impressions in the brain becomes manifest as the body and the worlds. Because the ego identifies itself with limitations, the body is considered separate and the world separate. Laying down on your bed in a closed room with eyes closed, you dream of London, the crowds there, and you among them. A certain body is identified as yourself in the dream. London and the rest could not have entered into the room and your brain. However, such wide space and duration of time were all perceptible to you. They must have been projected from the brain. Although the world is so big and the brain so small, is it not a matter of wonder that such a big creation is contained in such a small compass as one's brain? Though the screen is limited, still all the pictures of the cinema pass on it and are visible there. You do not wonder how such a long procession of events could be manifest on such a small screen. Similarly, with the objects and the brain. Then cosmic consciousness is not same as realization as the devotee. Maharshi said, cosmic consciousness is behind the ego. It may be called Ishvara and the ego is Jiva. Ishvara may also be said to be absolute. There is no difference here. The consciousness which pervades even Ishvara is the absolute one. End of talk 177.